Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. My name is Jasleen Kaur, and I'm a trans creator on the Guru Granth Sahib project. We're excited to announce the release of Ghoria. So this is two compositions that are set in the rag or musical mode of Vadhans, which is common to both like wedding and death ceremonies. So it's a big part of folk traditions and folk culture. And in these compositions, Ghoria are the songs that are sung by the women from the groom's side in anticipation of the union. Vadhans literally means swan, great swan. And so some of you might know, but like this, the imagery of the swan is often associated with kind of the self and the being or the spirit within us. And the Guru Granth Sahib often refers to this like difference between being swan-like and crane-like, right? So swan-like people are actually sitting sort of steady and calm on the waters, and crane-like people look like they are, but there's this pretension aspect because underneath the water, the crane's legs are like kicking, trying to keep itself afloat. So these compositions are about more than just like the folk traditions surrounding the wedding ceremony. They're about more than, you know, the celebration of that occasion and also the kind of sadness of that occasion, depending. Guru Ram Das Sahib is using these paradigms to tell us about the wedding of the being with Ikonkar, and as all of us being feminine beings, like what it is that we need to do to experience union with the divine husband, Ikonkar. So the questions are like, what do we do with this body? And how do we kind of go through life, move through life, maybe like learn how to behave, etc., in a way that allows for that eventual union, that eventual wedding. And so, yeah, throughout these compositions, the Guru compares the human body to a mare, and uses this word Dejan to even qualify that of like sort of the most superior breed of mare. And the statement that's kind of being generally threaded through is that like our human bodies are gifts, and they're precious and they're beautiful, and they have so much potential within them because we have the ability to practice remembrance, and we have the ability to have this kind of beautiful relationship with the one. And so you'll see that thread throughout. I did want to focus on like one image that's really stuck out to me in chant 3 of the first composition. Because in this composition, we're kind of presented with guidance on how to control and guide these bodies. And so the Guru says, just like a bridle is placed in the mouth of a mare to control and guide it, the wisdom imparts understanding to keep our bodies and minds under control. And so this like imagery of the bridle is really important. And we talked about it a lot as a team, because it's not just like this thing in your mouth that kind of like restricts you and sort of keeps you in check. It's an iron ring most of the time, and there's like this theme in Bani that's mentioned quite a bit of like chewing hard iron as a symbol of like doing something really difficult. And so wisdom helps us by imparting this kind of deep knowledge on us and reining us in, guiding us. But also that process is deeply difficult and requires great effort and is sort of like arduous in a way. And then also I think like the imagery of the mouth is really important. Like this thing that we're being invited to reflect on in a way is like what we're doing with our mouths. Like, are we speaking sweetly, or are we like pouring out slander from our mouths? Are we using the capacity we have to like sing the praises of the beloved? Are we like doing that? Are we engaging in that kind of remembrance and identification and praise of the one who is so beautiful, who gave us these beautiful bodies? And so, yeah, there's like so much there in just that imagery of like the wisdom kind of keeping the physical mouth in check. And then what's really sort of important to add on to that is that the Guru says it's not just the wisdom alone. It's not deep knowledge alone that helps us on this path. There's also a whip of devotion or a whip of love that moves us forward, right? Like that's what a whip is used for with animals. It keeps them going forward on the path. And what is very clear from this chant is that it can't be just one or the other. So the wisdom and the devotion have to work together to keep us motivated, to keep us sort of reined in, to keep us disciplined and engaged in the work of making these bodies beautiful in the way that we know they can be. And so, yeah, I think like this is something I've just been thinking about a lot, because maybe I have a tendency to create separation between like devotion and knowledge, or engagement with the wisdom and engagement with more kind of like abstract feeling. But it seems actually, as I've been reflecting on it, that like the thing that's being said to us is that these things have to work together, and there isn't a separation between them. They're both needed for their particular effects on us. So yeah, that's my reflection. I really hope you all spend some time with these chants and compositions, and I hope you spend some time with the footnotes and the word meanings and etymologies as usual, and the commentaries and transcreations and translations. There's so much, and just take your time and see what they are, see what you're kind of able to glean from these compositions, because I find them both quite emotional and like very hopeful, very exciting glimpses into what we can do, what we have the potential to do with these bodies if we would only listen. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.